While strolling home one day, Shina witnessed people rushing out of a store like they had just discovered a flash sale on unicorn costumes. But then, two girls tripped right next to him, executing a perfect synchronized dance routine. The thief, seeing this unexpected performance, waved his knife around like a conductor leading a chaotic orchestra. But instead of fleeing, Shina decided to channel his inner superhero and pounced at the thief like a fearless ninja on a mission. He yelled at the girls to escape, probably sounding more like a hyperactive parrot than a fierce savior. But before he knew it, he found himself with a stomach that leaked more than a soda can dropped from a 10-story building. The bandit sprinted away like an Olympic sprinter, realizing he's late for the race. Shina, in his last heroic moments, was glad to have saved the day, but regretted having to ruin his favorite shirt. Talk about a fashion apocalypse. However, instead of the great beyond, he ended up in a mysterious room, and there was a maid crying and calling him Kane. Hold up, did Shina just stumble into a soap opera? He was more perplexed than a penguin trying to understand calculus. And then, to top it all off, someone mentioned mommy milkers. Wait, is this some alternate reality sitcom? Little Kane, trying to grasp his new identity, took a glance at the mirror and almost freaked out, wondering if he turned into a cartoon character from a parallel universe. Somebody called the Cartoon Network. But instead of wasting time, this pint-sized adventurer decided to search for any overpowered toys. Weapons. Apparently, he still had an Asian persuasion. And no, that's not some mysterious martial arts move. It just meant he was still a child. Sylvia, the maid, misinterpreted his surprise for something else entirely. But little Kane cried for losing all his manhood. Poor kid. He must think he lost some invisible superhero cape. After a little chat with Sylvia, he discovered his real name was Kane von Silford. Sounds like a character from a medieval fantasy novel. And guess what? His dad was the King of Cool, commanding an army to protect the kingdom's borders from a forest of monsters. Suddenly, those monsters seemed less fun than watching paint dry. The maid, Sylvia, promised to teach him magic if he could learn to read. Talk about educational magic. Kane got right on it, determined to learn all about this world faster than a caffeinated hummingbird. But oh no, his secret study sessions got exposed by his sister, Riani, who walked in like a detective from a cheesy mystery show. Fortunately for Kane, his sister was a walking plot hole, and he breathed a sigh of relief. Well, at least his secret was safe with her. With his sister's help, Kane learned about the wonders of the world. The first adventurer, Yuya, who built this kingdom. Sounds like a history lesson straight out of a talking book. But for Kane, it was all spellbinding, and he couldn't wait for his baptism to unlock his magic powers. Finally, the big day arrived. Baptism time. Kane walked in with his new outfit, looking dapper as ever, and then, bam, he met the 7 mystical beings, not Santa Claus and his elves, but imagine the Avengers with wizard hats. Each god had their own unique style and personality, like a team of superpowered mentors. During the baptism ceremony, as the statues of the gods lit up like a cosmic disco party, Kane couldn't believe his eyes. He found himself standing in front of all the gods, live and in action. Talk about a surprise guest list. Completely shocked, he blurted out, "Whoa, hold on. No one told me the gods themselves would be attending this baptism. Do I need to prepare a speech or something?" Zenin, the god of creation, couldn't help but smile at Kane's reaction, even though he could hear his thoughts. "Relax, young one," Zenin said in a voice as soothing as a lullaby. "We're just here to witness the birth of a new adventurer. No pressure at all." Next in line was Rhyme, the god of death and the cycle of rebirth. She had a mysterious air around her, but her voice was surprisingly gentle. She leaned in and whispered to Kane, "You know, your death was quite unexpected. If you hadn't intervened, that killer would have been caught by someone else, and you would have lived to see another day. Guess you got caught in a bit of a scam, huh?" Kane's jaw dropped, and he responded with a mix of disbelief and humor. "Wait, so you're telling me I died for nothing? Well, that's just perfect." In return for his selfless act, the gods decided to reward him with a reincarnation into a new world. Kane couldn't help but feel grateful, even though he had experienced his share of ups and downs in his previous life. "No problem," he said with a half smile. "My life back there wasn't exactly the most thrilling, But thanks to my past memories, I can learn everything much faster here, and hey, I got a pretty awesome family this time around. The gods apologized for the unforeseen events that led to his demise. But Cain shrugged it off, embracing his new beginning with optimism. He couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement about his future adventures in this mysterious world. With newfound resolve, Cain stepped into his new life, ready to make the most of his second chance. He was determined to protect the people he cared about and to explore the wonders of this new realm with the powers bestowed upon him by the gods. Cain received blessings from all 7 gods, and boy, his status window looked like a video game glitch gone wild. Level 10 protections. Talk about being an overpowered prodigy. His family's jaws dropped faster than a bungee jumper on adrenaline. But Cain, always the wise one, used his secret ability, Status Conceal, to hide his true strength. After all, he didn't want to be the show, off at the family reunion. And then he decided to summon a cute animal in the backyard. What could go wrong? Oh, just a giant monster, because summoning a fluffy bunny would have been too predictable. But this time, Cain was determined to save the day without turning into a pancake. He unleashed his magical powers like a kid with fireworks on the 4th of July, and the monster vanished like a magician's trick. Cain was relieved, but mostly because he could still use his fluffy cat ears as a reference in his imagination. The next day, during his birthday ceremony, his family asked about his aspirations. And what did Cain say? I want to travel the lands, help people, and become an adventurer. Cue the heroic fanfare, because our little hero is ready to take on the world, one funny misadventure at a time.